just sit close and talk right in that mic for me. All right, guys, we're joined by Hidlay from NC State. As a reminder, we are transcribing the press conference off-site, so if you would like to ask a question, please raise your hand, identify yourself and your news outlet. So see hands for the first questions.
Mike Willis, USA Wrestling. Talk us through the 6-point move you hit in the first period and what that does for you, getting a lead like that early in the match.
Well, earlier in the match, I tried underhook, and he wasn't baiting for it. I think he scouted a little bit and didn't want anything to do with it. But I changed it up a little bit, and I went with a shot first and then kind of transitioned into upper body. And I was in a position where he has hit some guys before in a hip toss, and so he went for it, and then I just kind of switched my hips and reversed it on him. So, I have a Greco background, and I don't mind throwing guys, so it was there. And my coach just said, be aggressive. If you see something big, go for it.
Ryan Tice, thewolfpacker.com. Hayden, I know you expected to be here, but how's it feel to be in the finals?
Feels incredible. I think that atmosphere was more than I could ever dream of. Just being out there, and when we were on a restart, I couldn't hear the whistle one time just because I think Nolf was turning a guy on the other mat. But, I just kind of let the guy react first, and then I went for his move. But just an incredible atmosphere. Really thankful, to be here.
Andy Elder, Lewistown Sentinel. Hayden, growing up as close as you did to State College, there's a lot of people in Mifflin County that, as you climbed the rankings this year, anticipated this matchup. How long ago did you start anticipating that you could be in the finals against Nolf?
I think last year, whenever I was sitting at home watching the Nationals, I was on a red shirt, so I didn't come with the team. I was sitting in my apartment just, visualizing myself being here. And I think once I beat LaValle earlier in this year, who made it to the national finals, I thought, why not me? I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to go after the top guy.
Mike Finn from Wind. Can I expand a little bit more on what he's asking you? Talk about growing up 30 miles from Penn State. Did you grow up a Penn State fan? Any emotionalism, especially with you and your family, considering what you're doing tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think it's going to sound strange to people, but probably up until I was about 16 years old, I had season tickets to the Penn State wrestling matches. So that's kind of crazy to think about now. And once the recruiting process started opening up, I went my separate ways from Penn State, just because they were pretty full at that weight class at the time. So, I started looking at other schools, and I got attached to NC State. And I was sold on the message of, if you come to NC State, you're going to lead a team that's going to go up against Iowa, Penn State, Oklahoma State every year. And we want you to be a part of that.
Bryce with the open mat. You're following up what was a really strong redshirt freshman campaign with what is an incredible freshman campaign. Talk about your decision last year to take that year, and then just going into this year, what that gave you, knowing how well you wrestled as a redshirt.
Well, when I talked to Pat and the rest of the coaching staff, they had it pretty set in stone that my plan was going to be to redshirt, learn from older guys in the room, people like Pete Renda, Tommy Gant, Kevin Jack, be around those guys, kind of soak in what, how they work, what their competitive drive is, and then whenever I was able to take the stage this year, I was going to be able to, duplicate results that they've had in the past. So, it obviously has paid off. I took some lumps in the redshirt year. I think I had a couple losses, but just the training day in, day out, and, you didn't get to see as much competition. That was really hard for me. So I was able to learn a lot from that and take the next step into the scene this year.
Got time for one more question out there.
Ryan Tice, thewolfpacker.com. Hayden, I know you're focused on yourself, but when you look up at the team score, you see NC State in 5th place right now, I believe. That's got to feel pretty good.
Absolutely. I think just the whole process that, we've been taught since my day one here, with the class that was brought in by Pat and all their other coaches. They told us that we were going to be in moments like this, and they wanted us to lead the charge. So thankfully, I've had really great leadership from seniors like Pete Renda, Kevin Jack, and Michael Machiavelli. And, this new wave of us, we're kind of jump-starting this, run into the top 5, and we want to compete for a team trophy.
All right. Thank you, Hayden. Good luck in the finals.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.